All right. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you for being here. Good afternoon, Kalaole. Good afternoon, Larry, Kenneth, Emmanuel. Good afternoon, everybody. Great to have you here. Okay. All right. People are slowly starting to join. So maybe we should give another, say, 5 minutes and then we can start. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Okay, all right. Good afternoon once again. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to have you here. Uh, I think, okay, we have about, maybe we should give another extra, say 1, 2 minutes. You can see people have started to join, so that we can gather as many people as possible before commencing this very interesting training program. I see a lot of people here. Thank you very much for joining. Thank you very much. We will be starting shortly. Thank you.
Okay. Brilliant. I think it's good time for us to start so that we don't waste the time of all the people that have decided to come in for this early. So, good morning, everyone. Good morning. I trust you all very well. I am Dr. Orlando Olumide Odejide, and I'm leading this session with my colleague Muiwa as we take you through the new version of the skills assessment framework for the information age. So it's great to have everybody here. I'm going to use my chat room a lot. So let me start by, for the people who don't know me, not some people know me, some people do not know me. So I will just formally introduce myself, and I also want everybody to follow my cue and do the same. So as I said, I'm Dr. Orlando Olumide Odejide. I am the CEO of Training Heights. I am privileged to be the CEO of Training Heights Limited, and we work a lot in Nigeria. We work a lot in Ghana, and we also work a lot even in other locations, like the UK, etc. Yes, my specialization, I'll say it's in strategy, it's in risk, it's in IT, and I will also say my strategy, risk, IT, and generally I'll just say process improvement. And so everybody should please go ahead and introduce yourselves, and so for everybody, it's your name plus your role, possibly the organization you work for, and lastly, if you've got any specific expectations for this session, right? So, yes, please. All right, so everybody, I'm the one leading the session, so my expectation is that I will hopefully be able to really clarify for you um what exactly this framework, what exactly is it about? Why is it useful? Why should you know this? And then we would also give you the opportunity to be able to take the foundation exam for this, right? So yeah, so there's a foundation exam that we have. Um, so for this, so once again, right? Good. So can I see from all the others? So thank you very much, Kalawali Jalayemi. Thank you for being here, a learning and development specialist, right? So Kalawali, thank you very much for being here. Emmanuel, right, from Zen Bank Ghana, brilliant, right? Emmanuel, I mean, you will learn a lot from this session, right? You will actually wonder why you have not been using this framework, why the IT department of your organization has not been using this framework. I think every IT department should ordinarily use this framework. I think every IT department, I even think as an individual, any and everybody um, that does this should also be here. That does IT, sorry, I beg your pardon. Any and everybody that also does information technology should be here. So, can I hear from the others very quickly so that we can go ahead with this session? We want to make it short, want to make it precise, and I want everybody to get out of here in another hour. Kenneth, thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's great to have you here, Kenneth. All right. So I have Kolawale, I have Emmanuel, I have Kenneth here. Um, so who else? Okay. Can I have others please speak if you don't mind, everybody? Adiola is here. please. Some of our employees in our own organization, they're also here, but we have a lot of external persons here. Great is here. Helen is here. Idris is here. Can I hear from others very quickly before I go ahead with my session? Rotimi Olaito, thank you very much. Mr. Akinwale Akindea, thank you very much for being here. It's definitely great for you to be here. So I'll just take from two others and then I will go ahead with this session. So can I get to know your expectations? Kenneth and Emmanuel and Kolawali, can you tell me what your expectations are? Kolawali, Emmanuel, Kenneth, can you share with me? Um, yeah, thank you very much, Akinwale. Your thoughts. Yeah, I mean, SFIA is big inside of COBIT, is also big inside of ITIL. Those two documents, ITIL and COBIT, they actually align a lot, align and lean on. Let me just not just align and lean on, they align and they also lean on SFIA. And this new version, which is version 9, is brand new. So those two international frameworks and best practice, they rely a lot on SFIA. They align a lot to SFIA, right? So who else can I get? Can I just hear from one or two persons? I want to start my session in exactly. I want to start my session in exactly 3 minutes from now. So can I just hear from a few people as we go ahead and we start our session very quickly? Right? I know more people are going to join. Okay. So wait. So I'm going to share this link, everybody. I'm going to share a link with you. So before we go ahead, I want you to please, before we go ahead, I need you to please, all right, go onto this website. Everybody, great. Thank you very much. All right. Brilliant. Everybody, go onto this website. I've dropped the link in the chat room. And I need you to go register and download the SFIA. When 5 people have told me I have it, then I'll go ahead with the class. When 5 different persons have told me that, oh, doctor, I have it, then I will go ahead with the class, right? Well, when 5 people have told me I have it, then I will go ahead with the class, right? So please, everybody, let's do that together very quickly. Let's do that together very quickly, everybody. Okay, we're going to do that together. Let's go on there because it's great for me to talk about this. It's even better when all of you have access to it. The other good thing about SFIA is that it's a free open source document. It's a free open source document, so you can there's a lot that you can download it. You don't even have to pay for it, which is good. So a big thank you to the SFIA organization that have made this brilliant documentation, that have made it free and open source. And if you're attending this session today, you're going to get the opportunity to be able to do the our free foundation exam. We have 2 exams. We have the practitioner and we have the foundation. So you're going to get an opportunity to be able to do the free foundation exam for attending, and that will give you the foundation that allows you to be able to do this appropriately. Once again, I think this is a big area of work. I'm surprised that the a lot of HR professionals, they don't know this. Right? All right. I'm surprised that a lot of HR professionals, they don't know these things. Right? So it's yeah, so but as I said, once five people tell me that they have it, then I will go ahead with the session this morning as it or afternoon, right? So this afternoon as it is. Okay. Okay. Good. In fact, I'll reduce it to three. Once three people tell me that I have it, then we're going to go ahead with the session. Right? Quickly, quickly, quickly. All right, Kenneth, are you trying to register and to download it? This is not a Zoom. Uh, I don't know why Microsoft has not included the capability to be able to put an attachment here. Am I missing something? You know, inside of Zoom, you can easily do that. Am I right? Right? Easily you can attach. Otherwise, I would have just shared mine. Emmanuel, thank you. Emmanuel says he has it now, which is brilliant. I'm waiting for two others to tell me that they have it. Miriam, welcome. Welcome here, Miriam. And Rotimi is here. Goals is here. Quickly, quickly, quickly. I want three people. Every H. So I'm also going to give you some minutes to call the HR person in your organization. If you have an HR person in your organization, send them this link. I don't know why HR people are have not taken advantage of this particular methodology. So I think every HR department, every IT department, all right, should take advantage of this framework. Okay. Right? So trying to bring in I think every HR person should take advantage of this particular degree. Can I get some two others that have been able to download it so I can go ahead with my session, please? Please. I just need two others to tell me that yes, I've been able to download it. And if Benga can put it on one of the training heights platforms so that people can we can share the link in the chat room, that would be great. That would be brilliant if that is actually possible. So, but yeah, it's like what I would call one of the really well kept secrets. This is what I'll call one of the really well kept secrets. Um, as it is, it's one of the well kept secrets, and I'm glad that you, as a person, you're here so that we can demystify what this is. I'm glad that you're here so that we can demystify what this is in itself. Okay, I'm glad. So thank you very much for being for taking the time out of your very busy. I know a lot of you here. You're busy. You're at work, but I promise you that this will be worth your while, and you will thank Training Heights in the future for introducing you to SFIA, right? You will thank Training Heights in the future, I promise you, because it's brilliant to be a part of this SFIA community, to know what SFIA is, and to be able to even leverage it in your own organization and even in your own career as a person. One of the things that so please note this, and as I start my session, all right. One of the things that come against people when they're trying to get jobs abroad is because they never did their own personal skill assessment relative to SFIA. That happens to a lot of people. That's why you will see people who have been in banking, they've been in IT, they've been in one area of work or the other. By the time they're leaving the or by the time they're leaving Nigeria and they're going abroad, they will then go and resort to driving Uber. It's not because they don't know those things, it's because they never used SFIA for their own skill assessment. So once again, thank you very much, Emmanuel. Thank you very much, Kolawale. I think Chidima says we should send the link again. They've shared the link again in the chat room. But because of time, let me move on very quickly. Let me get on with this. Let me get on with this session very quickly. All right, good. So we've shared the link. Everybody should ordinarily have access to this. So yes, can you see my screen? Can you confirm, everybody? Can you confirm? Can you see my link? All right. Can you see my screen? Miwa, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can. Yes, we
All
can.
right. Brilliant. Good. So I've shared the site. So somebody should fact check me, right? Benga and all the others that are on the call. You can fact check me here. So I looked at, this is the new version of the document. I know Muiwa, we did this when there was version 8, 7, a long time ago. We also did this when there was version 8. And now there's a brand new one, which is version 9. As a person, I started using this SFIA when it was version 4. I started using it for all sorts of things when it was version 4. So because it ITIL makes and COBIT, just like Mr. Akinwale said, makes a lot of reference to this. So I started using this from version 4, and from that version 4, it's been significantly improved from version 4 to version 5 to version 6 to version 7. I remember that even during COVID, I did a session around this. So this new version, I had to just do the counting myself. So the skill areas that are there, somebody should help me check if they're actually 147. I did the count, but I might be wrong. Maybe I made a mistake somewhere. You can check it. You can correct me. But this is a big deal. This is just this front page. You knowing the categories that are there, the subcategories that are there, the skills that are represented, and how do you rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 7. I'm telling you, this is the thing that every IT department needs to do. This is the thing, and I hope this session is being recorded so that we can put this on YouTube and we can share the link with other people thereafter. This is the big problem for two sets of people, right? There are two sets of people that need to be here. You're in HR, you're in slash learning and development, all right? This is a big deal for you. And if you're in IT, either the representative of the IT department or you yourself, you're just an IT practitioner as a person, you need to be here. You definitely need to be here. And this will help you with the work. The problems that this particular framework is really resolving, they're actual problems that the framework is resolving. One of those problems is that people there is a mismatch between sometimes the skills, and maybe I hope that the AI is also on so that we can summarize what I am saying here on this call. Number one, right? Uh, every HR person should be here, and every IT person should really know about this particular framework. So that's number one. Number two is that this framework is solving the problem of people not being able to identify where they're best suited for their education, their interest, their qualifications, their capabilities generally. Where are they best suited for as it is? That's on one level. On another level, a lower level of detail is what exactly are the skills that they must have to fulfill a particular role. The global skills, I'm not talking about Nigerian, I'm not talking about Ghanaian, I'm not talking about African, I'm talking about whether it's in the UK, it is in Canada, wherever it is that it's in the world. What are the skills specifications and descriptions that they must have? And what level are they relative to that? So you can see that there is a sequence here, the categories. So everybody here, we're going to do that exercise. You must situate yourself within a certain category. That's number one. Number two, you must situate yourself within a subcategory. That's number two. Number three, you must have certain skill sets relative to the area you have picked. That's number three. And number four, you must be able to categorically, with evidence, know what level that you're on. I've suffered from this. I've tried to work with some organizations when I was much younger. I mean, as I said, I'm talking about maybe 17, 18 years ago, that I will be seated in front of an interviewer outside of Nigeria, and the person is looking at SFIA, trying to determine the kind of skill sets that I have. But he was using SFIA as the basis, and I didn't know that those odd 17, 18 years, 19 years ago, I didn't know about this. I didn't know that this is what it is that international recruiters use in determining the the skill sets and the capabilities and the level to which people align to. So once again, this is a global problem, and that's what it is that we're trying to resolve. So somebody should fact check me here. You might have to do a manual count. I'm not even sure ChatGPT is going to necessarily help you here, because ChatGPT has missed it a couple of times when I've tried to use it to do things like this. You have to look in the document yourself. But please note this. That's why I actually put it on the front page. The categories, the subcategories, the skill, and the levels. Let me move on very quickly. We've sent you the link to the website. I hope you're here. I hope you've gone to download it. And there's so many other resources that are available on the website. You would even see some beautiful videos. I definitely think all of us should spend time on that website. I think it's useful to you do that either for yourself or even on behalf of your organization. I think an organization like Training Heights, everybody that works in the organization should be an expert when it comes to SFIA, because this is how you can help a lot of your clients in their career and in their the journey of developing their capabilities. Okay, so I also put this in here. There's global skills assessment for anyone in anything related to information technology. Anyone, and right, anything. And because of course learning and development and practitioners are big, right? They are the ones that have to do a lot of these things across. In some organizations, we have the IT HR partner, right? And in some organizations, we also have learning and development that drives how people develop. How or nobody should be in learning and development that is not familiar with this particular framework. Let me move on. So, as I said, it's been around for a very long time. Nobody really calls it SFI. I call it SFIA. So I know some people call it Sophia, but I don't. I mean, I don't see the SO there. So I just call it SFIA. The original terminology is skills framework for the information age. I remember when I was going to become a chartered member of the British Computing Society, I had to be tested on SFIA. So if you wanted to become a chartered member of the British Computing Society, you had to be tested specifically on SFIA. And so these things that I've done in my past allowed me to really look at it to say, let me understand this. And because I've been following it for at least about 15 years, that has given me a lot of experience in terms of its value, its use, its adoption, how to implement it, and key things to take into consideration, right? So, but some people like to ask that, what does SFIA mean? Skills framework for the information age, but some people like to call it Sophia. But yeah, I'll just keep it to skills framework for the information age. The other good thing is that it belongs to everybody. It doesn't matter what your organization or the size of your organization is, whether it's a small, medium size, micro, medium, whatever it is, or you're a big enterprise, like a global bank. It does not matter. You should know about this. It's important to every kind of organization. And I'm telling you that you're on this call, it's also important to you, even as an individual. If you really want to move your career forward, if you really want to benchmark yourself against how you're going to be judged and assessed internationally, this is the framework for you to know, and this is the framework for you to be comfortable with in itself. Let me move on. I mean, so that I can skip a lot of this introduction. There is an Excel document you should be able to download. These for there is actual framework in itself is about 300 pages plus. There is the spreadsheet that comes with it, and then there's the summary chart. Then there's a summary chart. So those things are available for download, and there's a summary. So I mean, that's why I said everybody should go in here. Everybody should go here. And I think Mr. Muyo has dropped the link. I shared it before. He can keep sharing it so that otherwise would have added it into the chat room. But yeah, you might just go in there, register for it, and you should be able to download it from the SFIA website. And the focus of this particular one that we're doing, as I said, we did this when it was 7, we did it when it was 8. We're doing this for the first time now that it is version 9. Okay, now let's get into it. So this is the first thing. So okay, no, let me not say this is the first thing. Let me come here first, right? Let me do it here. Let me start from here. So everybody, you must fall somewhere. Did you get that? So some of you, please write it down. I'm going to quickly go through this, right? The step number 1 is that your skills, let me also look at it from 2 perspectives. Step number 1, what is your existing area of work or skills or capabilities? What is the existing one? And what is the future one? Did you get that? So, what you do as at today, does it fall under strategy and architecture? Right? Not everybody's work will fall here, right? Not everybody's work will fall here. Not everybody's work is going to fall here. Some people, your work will fall under strategy and architecture. And after you have determined that your work falls under this category, you now have to determine which of the subcategories your work falls under. After that, you now have to look at the skills that have been captured and itemized, the skills in themselves that have been captured and itemized based on the category and the subcategory that you pick. Let me say that all over again. Some people, you're going to be under this category, which is strategy and what? Architecture, right? That's step 1. Step 2, you're going to now determine what subcategory you are in under this strategy and architecture. That is step 2. Step 3, you will now have to review which of these skills under the subcategory, under the category, do you exist? Step 4, you will now have to decide which of the, what level are you on? So for clarity, let me write it all over. Let me write it again. All right. Let me put it here because this is the last portion of the thing. Step 1, right? Step 1. What category? What category am I in? That's step 1. Okay. All right. Step 2. Step 2. What sub category am I in? That is step 2. Okay. Step 3, right? What are the skills? Step 3, what are the skills that I have, right? Under the subcategory, okay? And lastly, right? Lastly, which is step 4, is what level am I uh in or on relative to the skill under the subcategory. Okay, these are the 4 steps that everybody needs to know and needs to be aware of if they want to do this and if they want to do it properly. I can redo this. Let me see if I do this. Hold on 1 second. If I do this, and lastly, I think if I can do this, if I do this, right? So these are the 4 steps, right, that are important. Everybody, what category am I in as of today? What subcategory am I in? What are the skills that I have under the subcategory, and what level am I in or on relative to the skill under the subcategory? Now, these are the 7 levels. These are the 7 levels. So let us do one. So, for example, me as a person, I will. This is the category of my day job on one hand, right? Strategy and architecture. Step 1. Step 2, my day job. Let me say, for example, it is strategy and planning. That's step 2 for me as a person. Step 3 is look at all the skills that are required of me based on me being somebody that does strategy and planning. I'm required to have 9 set of skills, everybody, me as a person. Now, I now have to sit down and understand relative to these 9, where do I fall? Am I on level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7 relative to the 9 of them? This is the problem. If I'm going to go international, because Ghanaians are not using this, Kenyans are not necessarily using this, Nigerians are not necessarily using this. A lot of organizations are not following through with this. But international, in the UK, in Canada, they use this all the time. So in reality, if I'm going to want a job somewhere in the world, the recruiter, the employer is going to be seated opposite me looking at this. Is going to first ask me some questions to determine whether I actually fall under whether I actually fall under strategy and architecture, step 1. The recruiter is also going to ask me some questions. This is why this is very important for every HR person and every CIO. The step 2 is they're now going to want to ask me questions to really know that which subcategory am I in? Am I under strategy and planning? Am I under financial and value management? Am I under security and privacy? Where am I in reality? That is step 2. Step 3, they're now going to start assessing me that which of these skill sets under the subcategory, under the category do I actually have? That's the 3rd step. Now, 4th step is that they're now going to start to determine, am I on level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 relative to each of the skills under the subcategory, under the category. Now, the description of those 7 things, once again, this is critical if you're in learning and development, if you're in HR, and even for you as a person. Right? There's right when it comes to some of the things that we do. So let us pick recruitment for somebody that is in learning and development. Okay, so let's say that, right? There are certain skill sets. So let's do this now. So let's do, where's the one for HR? Everybody look at this. So a lot of people that are here will understand this. So it says here, where are you as a person? Are we together? It says here, where are you as a person? Right? So first is that the category you've decided that you're in, because you're in HR or because you're in learning and development, is under people and skills. Is that understood? Can anybody in HR really tell me if this is understood? Anybody in HR? Can you tell me if you understand what I have just said? So, step one, you have to first decide I'm in HR, so I'm under people and skills. That's step one. Step two, am I, which subcategory am I in? Am I under people management or am I under skills management? Where am I? That's step two. Okay. Step three, whether I fall under people management or whether I fall under skills, which of these things that are here do I have? So you can see that under people I have six, am I right? So six skills here, am I right? And under here I have seven. I have seven. Okay, so I have six. All right. So do which of these do I score zero? It's possible that also one of these skills area I don't even have it at all, right? Or do I have it, but I'm on a low level? Or do I have it and I'm on the highest level that is possible? What they have done is that they have put what they consider to be the minimum, what's the right word now? The minimum baseline that you should have. So according to them, if you say you do performance management under people management, you can't be on level one, two, and three. It's almost like you're forbidden to be under levels one, two, and three, everybody. If you say, right, everybody, if you say that, oh, I do performance management, they are forbidding you. Now, you can't really say you do performance management under people management and you're level one, two, and three. That is what they have done here. So they're saying that people who do performance management, they will either exist at level four, five, or level six. But they're saying that some of the things you can have a junior person do them. So, for example, look at resourcing. They're saying that somebody who does resourcing can be a junior HR officer, right? So that's why they say that that person can exist at level two. Right? They are also saying that somebody who does learning and development management, learning design can exist at a low level. And that person can also exist at like a director level. Okay? But they're also telling you that subject formation, now somebody that is on doing subject formation cannot be a low level officer. Once again, this is their recommendation. An organization can decide that they're going to change this and all that, but this is how IT recruitment and anything, remember where I started, any and everything that is related to this is how it is viewed globally. This is the global document for picking people. So, for example, let me go further. Let me pick a simple area of work. For example, say I am in procurement, right? I'm in procurement, and part of my job is to do IT procurement. So, if that is my case, I will not be under strategy since my job is procurement. I will not be under change and transformation. I will not be under development and implementation. I will not be under people. I will be under relationship. This is where that procurement person sits. Now, so we've sorted number one. What is my what's that thing? What's my category? Number two, the person that is in procurement. Which part of this procurement are you in? Are you under marketing? Are you under sales and bid management? Are you under stakeholder management? That's step two to now say, okay, I'm really in charge of evaluating proposals. That means I am on under category sales and bid management in the procurement department. The third thing to now say that these three skill sets that have been captured here, proposal management, selling, sales support, do I know these things? Do I even know what they are? That's step three. Number four, yes, I know what they are, but at what level am I existing for these things? the 4 steps. If I come here, for example, I've named this wrongly. I apologize. I was just working on this um, yesterday. Delivery and operation is what this is, right? So let me pick something maybe simpler. Like, okay, we can use this. It doesn't matter, right? So if you say my job is, let me see here. I'm in charge of I'm an information security officer. I know a lot of information security people are probably here, or I'm in penetration testing, something along those lines. So first, I must determine my category. My category here is delivery and operation. That's number one. Number two, where do I fall in under these 4 subcategories? Am I in network support? No, I just said I am in cybersecurity. So, what's the closest to cybersecurity here? Anybody? Maybe something under security, right? So, let's assume I'm a SOC analyst, right? Uh, or I'm a penetration tester. So, if I'm a SOC analyst, I'll be under security operations. So I've sorted out step one, I'm under delivery and operation. Step two, I'm under security services. Step three, I'll now look at myself that, okay, which of under security, where do I fall? And I'll say, well, it seems as if it's only security operation because I'm in the SOC. Now, SOC administrator level, what am I in? What is it? Because you, according to them, you can be a junior SOC analyst, you can be a middle type SOC analyst, and you can be a senior SOC analyst. So you can see for security operations, you can be like entry level, like after NYSC, but you can also be as far as number 6, which means you're very senior in the organization. So this is what IT people need to do. This is what you need to do as a person. This is what the CIO or is they need to do. Am I hiring? So first thing is to say, this guy that is seated in front of me, which department or unit do I put him? Do I put him under development and implementation? Okay, he's a programmer, he's an application developer, right? Brilliant. So, all right, I'll put him under development and implementation, step one. Under development and implementation, there are many things in there. Where do I really want him to focus? Do I want him to focus on that system, under data and analytics, under user-centered design, under content management? Where do I want this my guy, right, that I am hiring? Do I want him to be a data scientist under computational science? Where do I want this my guy to come in? Then I look at it, I say, this guy is a UI UX expert. He's like a boomer, somebody who knows how to build a lot of UI UX. They know how to use a tool called Figma. Well, and I'll say, okay, you know what? I'm going to make him specialize under user-centered design. Now, is it the only one under that unit? If it's the only one, then you must know everything under user-centered design. You must know user research, you must know user experience, you must know accessibility, you must know experience analysis, you must know experience design, you must know experience evaluation. Right? But if it's not the only one, if there are 6 of them, then I can say, okay, you focus on user research, you focus on customer experience, like that. But in some instances, it will be only him. If it's the only one, he must have those 6 skills as it is. Now I now have to decide, right? Because I've hired him or I plan to hire him, what level of Figma can he use? Figma is not the only tool. It's probably just one of the most commonly used ones these days. So do I want him to be a Figma level 2 guy or a level 6 guy? As it is, because it's also not that there is no specification for level 7. It also means that this guy most likely might not be the head of that whole department called development and implementation, because that role, this role is a specialist role, is not a leadership role. But if you look at, if the person was a systems develop, if you look up under systems development, if the person was a systems development manager, then he has a leadership role. He can even be a leader in the department. So, in the documentation in itself, the documentation is so brilliant, right? And I hope you have all your questions. The documentation is so brilliant that this is how it works. So, for example, if I pick this, it tells me that, okay, Orlando, you're a senior person. We're hiring you as the CIO, as the director of IT in the organization, right? Okay, what will be your responsibility or your role? You're going to be in charge of strategic planning, right? What does strategic planning, what does it mean? You also can imagine that how have HR people are learning, and because this is not just for learning and development, this is also part of the development of your what's that thing, your job description. Because you should also be asking, how have HR people been writing updated job descriptions? How have they been doing it without expertise on a framework like this? Because if I come to your organization as a CIO, right, the expectation is that your interview would be based and tied to this thing that you and I are looking at on our screen. Apart from that, the job description that you're going to give to me, my offer letter, should definitely contain some things here. You're hiring me as the director of IT in a bank, or you're hiring me as the assistant director, or you're hiring me as a senior manager in IT. Now, in IT, the expectation is that if you're a director, you should be level 7. If you're like, if it's like government, if you're like or even if it's banking, if I'm like a GM, I should be level 7, right? If I'm like a senior manager, right, I should be I should be level 6. Right? If I'm like a manager, should be level 5. And if I'm like an assistant manager, for example, I should be level 4. This also tells you that you cannot give this role to anybody less than maybe a manager. So we can say level 4 manager, level 5 senior manager, level 6 AGM, level 7 DGM or GM. This is the global way by which you're meant to define what that person, based on his level, is going to be doing. They've even been kind enough, they've under the guidance notes, they've written what are the specific things that I should be doing, either as a manager for IT strategy, a senior manager for IT strategy, an AGM for IT strategy, or like a DGM or GM for IT strategy. They have written, I should be conducting environmental analysis, I should be collaborating, I should be using data analytics, I should be ensuring agility, I should be communicating and continuously reviewing and iterating. They have spelt this out. And that's why the document is very lengthy. They spelled it out for this 100 and for this 100 and what did they call it? For this 100 and 47 specific skills, they have actually spelled it out. So one other thing you must know is that what is the definition and the interpretation of levels 1 to 7? What is the definition and the interpretation of levels 1 all the way to 7? What is the definition? What is the interpretation of levels 1 all the way to 7? That means I, if I have one guy that has come to do NYSC or just doing internship in my organization, he will most likely be at level 1. He needs to follow instructions. He needs to complete routine tasks under close supervision. It requires guidance, learns and applies the basic skills and knowledge. He will be crazy for me to hire one guy who's doing internship and give him a level 6 or level 5 responsibility. Before this meeting today, I had a meeting with some of our internal developers, right? Uh, on that engagement, I have 3 levels of persons on it. I have somebody who's at level 1 or slash level 2, is a junior person in the organization. I have another person on that engagement who is at a level 4 or level 5. and I have a senior person on that same call that is at level 6 or at level 7 relative to the development of the application in itself. Now, if I don't understand this, if I'm not working by this, I might not be able to scientifically prove or scientifically make those decisions. Otherwise, what will happen is that I will give somebody who is meant to be operating at level 6, I start to give the person a level 1 type responsibility. And this is where HR people and learning and development experts and generally managers, because this applies across board, your team members, have you done their skills assessments? If you're a leader, you're a manager, you're whatever that role is, have you been able to group your team members as level 1/2, 3, 4, 5, 3 slash, if I was going to use maybe 3 groups, I can say um group 1 being the lowest, group 2 being medium, and then group 3 being high skills. I can say low, medium, high skill sets. So I can say that, right? Now, have you been able to do that in your own organization to say, well, low skills, right? All right, is equal to um level 1 and 2, right? Then I can say medium skill relative to anything is equal to levels 3, 4, and 5. Then I can say high skills, right, is equal to levels 6 and 7. You, as a leader in your own organization, have you, or in your own unit or department, been able to scientifically do this? This is what SFIA is for. Being able to do this scientifically, using science to say that this person, I put him on as low skill, right? As low skill because the person is operating at level 1 and 2. And I put this person, whether it is tied to recruitment, whether it is tied to resourcing, whether it is tied to procurement, it doesn't matter what the person's job is. You, as a leader, as a manager, whether you're in HR or you're an operational manager, have you been able to do this? Because this is useful to everybody. If there's one page you're going to take away with you, it is this, because everybody in the organization, right, that is a manager, you must be able to put your people into categories, and the science behind the category is what it is that is on the screen. This is the science behind saying that this is how to put people. Now, brothers, ladies and gentlemen, you should also look at your own self and say, it doesn't matter what your job is. I don't know what your job is. Maybe your job, you're in IT, maybe you're in procurement, maybe you're an accountant. It doesn't matter. You need to also be able to look at yourself and say, I'm an accountant in training heights. What level am I? Am I on level 1 relative to accounting? Am I on level 2? Am I on level 3? That is even without the entire SFIA guidance. Just looking at your own self and being able to determine categorically what is your level. Whether you're my personal assistant, whether you're the receptionist in the organization, it doesn't matter what you do. Whether you're the head of business development, whether you're a big man like Mr. Muyiwa that is on the call, what level are you relative to your skills? It doesn't matter. Everybody needs to do this right now. Write it on a sheet of paper. Send an email to yourself. Send a WhatsApp to yourself to say that when I attended this meeting, I looked at what they presented, the 7 levels in there, and I realized that relative to the job that I do, right, I'm a level 2 officer or level 3 officer. This is how they originally designed government institutions. If you work in Lagos State or you work at the federal level, this is how they originally were thinking about it. to say by the time you now get to, of course, they use level 13. What's the highest level in government in Lagos State? For you to be a director, level what? Is that a level 12 or level 13 officer or something like that? It is
Level
something
18.
like this. When you come into the organization, you come in after national service, you start to grow over the through the ranks. But we are not really interested in the ranks. We're interested in the skills assessment. Right here on this call, I have people in my organization. I have salespeople. I have digital marketing people. As a digital marketing person, level what are you, generally speaking? And that's important. So once again, I'll round this up in a minute so that I can take a lot of questions from people because I know people have questions. One of the things I also like about this particular framework, they've talked about some attributes, business skills, and behavioral factors. Now, this one does not belong. This one, all of us should have this. In our own organization, we've been working with the competences according to Babok, but this is generally, I like this one. So if you're HR here, my question to you, right? This is not just even for learning and development. My question to you is, do people in your organization, as part of your induction, as part of what you're doing annually, how are you helping everybody in the organization to build these 16 areas? These are not technical skills. They assume this belongs to everybody. So according to SFIA, they have called it generic. That means it belongs to all of us. That means ordinarily you should not do onboarding without taking people through this. It also means that throughout the year, you need to keep working in the lifetime of all these employees in your organization. In their lifetime, you need to be doing something that is addressing how they will all keep building these generic attributes, skills, and behavioral factors. And a lot of HR are not, they're not doing this. They're not very intentional. Can I come to your organization and ask that the general training that you do for the entire organization, do they align to these 16 things? Are you doing something specifically to enhance and to enable these 16 characteristics and attributes inside of all your employees? That's also very important. Also, when you come here, so everybody's trying to hire some kind of AI expert. Let's see where we can find artificial intelligence here. Would we find it under, let's see. Aha, under data and analytics, we can see machine learning, right? We can see machine learning. So if I was going to hire a manager in charge of data and analytics, first, this my data and analytics manager must have these 9 skills. It does not have to have all of them at the level of 6 or 7, but at least he must know a lot. If the guy that I'm interviewing as the manager for data and analytics in my organization cannot speak intelligently about these 9 things, then he's not fit to be a manager. Then I can hire one guy to say, you're my data science guy, or you're my machine learning guy, or you're my BI guy. Once again, all of you need to go back and look at how your organization is doing these things. Some people, you lump all these things into a junior developer's job. So you say the junior developer, yes, maybe you expect him to have level 2 on some, level 3 on some, but junior developer cannot have level 5 on these 9 things under data analytics. If he's very good with machine learning and with data science, he will not be very good when it comes to visualization. If he's very good with engineering, he won't be very good when it comes sometimes to the visualization or to the BI intelligence side of it. Some of those capabilities, one person can combine them, but one person cannot. I see IT job descriptions that combine. In fact, some people write the IT job description for a junior person, and everything on this page will be there. These 41 things. It's possible. That means you're just writing for writing's sake. There's no junior person that can have all this. Maybe people after 20, 25 years, maybe their first job, they were under system development. Second job, they moved to data analytics. Third job, they moved to user-centered design. Then over time, then they might be able to have this. And then at that point in time, they're like senior managers in the organization. So to even break this down, guys, to break this down so that you really understand that this guy that I'm hiring, where do I really need him to be good? Because he can't be good across board. It's not possible. You yourself, this is why Africans struggle when they travel. You as an African, you will go for an interview. You and then you're trying to tell the the Englishman or the Canadian man or whoever it is that you as a person, you have all the skills here. But he's not even trying to hire you as a senior manager, as a director. He's trying to hire you for one specific thing. So his job, this is the problem that Nigerians have in and Ghanaians. In Africa, we like people to be broad. We want the person to be a product manager, a systems design person, network design, non-functional testing. We want one person to have all these skill sets. Now that person will now be very broad. Do you understand? Very horizontal, but they will not have vertical capabilities. Now, when they travel abroad, by the time they interview them, they need them to be an expert in one of these areas. They don't need the person to know everything. They're not, the role is not a senior manager or director in IT. So the person that is interviewing you wants you to be network design, maximum maybe two or three. They're not going to write a job description that says that you must know everything here, except the job description is for enterprise architect or for director of IT. So the one guy will go from Nigeria. He will say, "Oh, I do animation, I do radio frequency, I do safety assessment, I do this." You confuse the employer completely, and he won't be able to hire you because he doesn't expect that one person will have all these skill sets, and he hasn't written a job description that requires everything here. And that's our problem. In Africa, we're typically very broad, we're not very deep. When we go abroad, they're not really hiring you as a foreigner that has just come in as a director. Typically, that's not it. They need you to have a vertical expertise. And that therein lies what the problem is. Once again, the beautiful thing about this is that it has HR. So everything here is not technical. It has people in HR. Yeah, it's got people for people even in marketing and sales and in procurement and general stakeholder management, even customer service, right? It's got that. It even has a role for finance. And then it's got some other technical things. Lastly, once again, organizations, we're working on this. Organizations are looking at AI tools to automate SFIA, the actual AI tools that can help you with the automation. I'm not going to go through all this with you. AI is modern. You have to start to think about the inclusion or the intervention of HR of AI in every area of your work. So even when it comes to SFIA here, we're brought in what are the areas by which artificial intelligence can enable you relative to this. I won't go through this. We'll share the presentation with you as it is. So once again, look at it. You're hiring a digital forensic guy. How do you want him to do this? We're building our own tool. We're going to share with all of you that are here to test it with us, to give us your thoughts and opinion. And if you like it, we will give you a 6 month use of that AI tool. So Training Night is building its own, sorry, of that SFIA tool. Sorry, let me not speak like normal people that just use the word AI carelessly. Training Night is building its own SFIA assessment tool that the organization will use. Will test it with you and will allow you to use it for a bit. Lastly, would also allow you, well, if you've attended this, we'll share with you the foundation exam by this week or next week, so that you can pass the exam, and you should be proud of this in itself. So thank you very much, everyone. I know I've gone past the time that I wanted to use. I think I started speaking at about 20 minutes past 12, and I've already done this for about 50 minutes as it is. So once again, thank you very much, everyone. Thank you. I'm happy to take your questions, to take your thoughts, and even whatever opinion you have relative to this. Thank you very much, everyone. Miwa, over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Orlando. Thank you very much. It's been a very interesting session. Thank you. I do appreciate your very insightful session as it is. I know one particular thing stuck out with me, and is especially when you say Africans and their I can do it all attitude in itself made me remember a couple of years ago when people who didn't know the difference between being a project manager and being a business analyst. And when you tell an employer that I'm a business analyst, I'm not a project manager, they tend to like, what's the difference? Okay, you're here to come and manage the project, but the alignment of the project in line with the business objective is actually not the work of the project manager, it's actually the job of a business analyst in itself. And of course, if with the proper use of SFI, would have been able to help you identify these gaps and this need for this particular skill set. So thank you very much, sir, for the very great session, for this very great session. I really do appreciate it. Any questions? Your thoughts, your opinions around it. I know a lot of people in L&D will say this is too technical for us, but of course, it's very important as a business or as a personnel. I'm sure some of you will be thinking, what is the return on investment when it comes to application of SFI to your business as an organization? Of course, there's a lot of return on investment to the management because hiring right, and of course, also it's very important for you to be able to administer the right training program to this personnel. A lot of people, I see a lot of TNAs, a lot of training needs that is being shared with me by organization. And when you look at it, you see a lot of people will tell you they want to do CISSP, they want to do CISA, they want to do this and that. And you find out that some of them are even in admin. A lot of people are skilling themselves up for what's it called, for relocation, rather than skilling themselves up to ensure that they had significant value to exactly what it is that they do within the organization and how it benefits the organization as a whole. And it's job of the learning and development people or departments and the personnel to ensure that the right training is being administered to the right personnel within the organization to get the best results from from their investment in itself. A lot of people have stopped doing certification because people know that people are beginning to understand that training needs for personnel is usually first and foremost for their own personal benefit, and maybe second of all, the organization. Their personal interest is always put first, and this is where this framework really comes in very handy to ensure that the right training is administered to the right person. Thank you very much, Dr. Orlando, once again. Do we have any thoughts, questions, opinions? Please kindly drop it on the group in the chat room, and of course, so that we can close this. We'll get the recording shared with you. Also, we'll be administering the assessment, like Dr. Orlando mentioned, which will be done in the coming week in itself. We'll also select a few company, or if you want us to do a free SFI assessment for any department of your choice within your organization, please feel free to drop your name and the organization, and we will reach out to you. So let's do that for the next 5 minutes, and then we can close. Thank you very much, Mr. Kinwale. What are the options? Okay, that's the question. What are the options for a business when SFI is recommending minimum of level 4 for a role, but people available have skill sets below 4? Dr. Orlando, I don't know if you're there, sir.
Yeah, so I think we should just compile all the questions so that I can just address them at once so that we can be a bit efficient with our time.
Okay.
So
Thank
can
you
we
very
have
much.
others? So we will definitely, can we just have everybody drop their questions? And it's not just about questions. As I said, it's also around your thoughts and your opinion. What do you think about this whole thing? I tried to explain it in the most simple of words, but yeah, so everybody, so please, if I can take 2 other questions, and I'll just take the 3 of them together. Thoughts, opinion, questions, quickly, please.
All right, let's do that. And also, if you want
Okay,
us
so
to do, okay,
okay,
go ahead.
okay,
Go
so
ahead, Doctor.
somebody has asked me, okay, so let me just go ahead very quickly. So yes, I mentioned it during my session. I said some of those things that have been written there, they'll put level 4, level 5. They're best practice, right? So it doesn't mean that it's not the word of God. You don't have to completely compel yourself to follow that. But they've used the international guidelines as it is. So yes, maybe they have recommended that something should be at level 4, but you can only afford some national service person to do that particular thing. So that means the role says level 4, but you might have to do it at level 1. So it's fine, but it's important for you to know what is the global requirement. It doesn't mean that you and I must meet that global requirement on day one. It's a skilling and learning path. All right, it's a path of skill to keep getting better, and it's a path of skill optimization. All right, so even if maybe you have a manager that is even operating at level 1 or level 2, then the idea is also that you will know what intervention will be needed and required for that manager to get better at things. So pretty much, it's not the word of God, but it's just a recommendation. But at least you should know what the right thing is, even if you're not resourced appropriately to be able to completely do the right thing. Once again, we also said something. Somebody said, this thing about qualifications versus skills. You see, this document is called the skills framework. They didn't call it the qualifications framework. Do you understand? In Africa, we assume that qualifications or certifications, they're equal to skill sets. And once again, that's why when people travel, because with all their plenty degrees, will end up driving Uber or something because they are very knowledgeable, but they're not very skilled. So we always talk about something called KSA, right? Or let me even I prefer the KSE, right? Right? Knowledge versus skills versus expertise. Do you understand? So you start from knowledge, and over time you move to skills, and the thing you become like a global expert of some sort, or even a national expert. So, but that's why this document is very much interested in the skills, the capabilities. The document actually does not specify your qualifications. It does not tell you about qualifications. It tells you about skills, right? So we will share the links with you. Joyce here says she joined late, which is fine. We'll share the recording, we'll share the slides, and we'll also even share the foundation exam. We'll share it with you. So it's not a problem, right? And two other things, as Miwa rightly said, Training Night offers a free assessment, so they can do the assessment for you, for your IT team, or for whatever team in the organization. And then we can even repeat this session specifically for your own organization internally. So it's not a problem. Just relate with the team that is in Ghana, or Abigail and the others that are in Ghana, or the team that is seated in Lagos. All right. Once again, thank you very much. But it would be nice that people, once again, everybody, before you go, you've all been here, whether you work for Training Night or any other person. Marianne, even if you don't have a question, just give us what is your big takeaway from this session, and then Samuel will bring it to a close. Everybody, that's Benga, that's Bright, that's everybody. What is your takeaway? What is the thing that you made up your mind you're going to go drill down into and learn and focus on? What has been the light bulb moment for you on this particular call? Thank you very much once again. Meanwhile, over to you.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Thank you very much. And so for those who would like us to have this session again for their internal team in the organization, or you're looking to have us come over for a free assessment on the key on SFI, please reach out to me via my email. I will be dropping it on the chat box for you to reach out to us. And also for those in Ghana, I will also be dropping. You can also reach out to me, and I would communicate that to the Ghana team as well. So my email address is on the chat box. So please feel free to reach out to me, to us via that medium, and we would then take the conversation up from there. All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Orlando. Thank you. It's been a great session. Thank you for always. And we look forward to very much more insightful session in the near future. Thank you very much, and do all have a great, great weekend in advance. Thank you. All right, and you can join our community. All right, where I just dropped out. If you want
I think Muiwa's internet is frozen. So once again, it's fine. This joint training nights, Muiwa's email is there. Abigail, if you're here from Ghana, you should also drop your email and your contact details. We're happy to help you out. We'll send the link for this and many other things your way. Thank you very much, Idris. I appreciate. I was hoping that I'll still get feedback from all the others here. Marianne, I was hoping I'll get great feedback. Great. I was hoping I'll get feedback. Helen, I was hoping I'll get some feedback. Kenneth, Loveline, everybody, I'm hoping I will get some feedback. All right. So, what is your big takeaway? What is your takeaway? What is your big takeaway, please? Only Idris has said, Idris and Joyce have given their feedback. What did you learn? What are you taking away from here today? Mr. Kimali, thank you very much. Once again, everybody, what is your big takeaway? What is your big learning points from this session today? It would be nice to just get some verbal or written feedback. And then, of course, Clara has also shared our formal feedback form. Clara has also shared our formal feedback form, so you can also have a look at that. Okay, okay, okay. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a great weekend. Please fill the feedback form, follow us on social media. And even if you still type into this, we'll still leave the link on for another 10 minutes. We're happy to listen to you, and then we will definitely get back to you. Thank you. Thank you once again. Have a great weekend.